So I think for me as leaders, if we want to keep our workforce engaged and committed and able to drive the change that I think is ahead of us for the next many years, one is, I cannot emphasize this enough, is empathy, empathy, empathy. I think as leaders, we're going to talk about automation and digitization and contactless environments and all of that important stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about being empathetic to those whom we lead. And I think empathy is always important. I think it's a vital leadership attribute. But I cannot imagine that it's not going to be the single most important asset that we as leaders bring to the work that we do. How do we demonstrate empathy for those who we need to help us drive the change and those whom we serve? So I would say that's going to be a degree of leadership stepping up, if you want, that is even more important than it was before. This notion of, as leaders, we don't know it all. We have to be honest and transparent with those in our organizations and in our teams and the stakeholders who we work with, that there's a high degree of uncertainty out there. And acknowledging that, being honest about what we do and don't know, being honest that we're going to make some strategic bets that may or may not necessarily work out well. But to me, it's this sort of creating an environment where with our organizations, our teams, our team members, we can be totally transparent, totally honest with the things we know, and importantly, the things we don't know. And I mean, I think the pandemic has exposed us at a very personal level. We're all unaware of the future. We're all concerned about the future. What is the world going to look like in this post-pandemic environment? That's true at a personal level. Layer on top of that, when an organization says, I'm not so sure that my strategic roadmap is necessarily as valid as it was before the pandemic because of all of these new factors that have come into play. So I think as leaders, that's going to command of us a capability around honesty, transparency, vulnerability, where we sort of demonstrate to our organizations what it means to be leading in a time of uncertainty, yet doing it in a way, obviously, that motivates and galvanizes people. And none of this is new. You know this, and you've worked in our organization long enough. I just think we're going to be plumbing depths of leadership capabilities in ways that we haven't had to before, and dig so deeply into things like vulnerability and empathy and resolve. It's just going to be that much more important.